Well, hello guys. Good morning. As Drake would say, wait, what does Drake say? I forget what Drake says. Something about not having makeup on and that's when you're the prettiest. I hope that you don't take it wrong. We're gonna roll with that. Anyways, good morning guys. At least it's morning for me. YouTube is weird. It's like a black hole, you know? When I'm recording, it's a one day, and then when I post it, it's like a completely... Anyways, all right guys, I know you want me to shut up and just get down to business, so that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So here we go. All right, so if you are unfortunate like I am and you do not live near a major airport in Texas, like Dallas, or I believe Austin is another good big airport, then you know that it is very, very expensive to fly overseas anywhere, period. And that was my biggest dilemma with booking my trip to Japan. Now, I really honestly wish I could tell you guys, but I don't remember where I heard this information or where I saw it, where I read it, whatever. But when I did, I was in disbelief on it being like actually real. And when I tested it out for myself and then I saw the prices right before my eyes, I was in shock. It was unbelievable how unreal these deals were. But I want you to keep in mind that if you're looking for a cheaper way to get to Japan specifically, or anywhere overseas specifically, well, that doesn't really make sense, but if you're looking for a cheaper way to get overseas, just keep in mind that there are so many different variables that go into booking travel. So the tip that I'm going to give you guys today may or may not work for you. It just all depends on what you're willing to spend, what your travel dates are, when you're leaving, like when you choose to fly out, what time you choose to fly out. Everything matters when it comes to travel. So in this scenario, I'm going to give you guys all of the information that all of the information on the trip that I booked, so it'll make better sense for you guys. So let's get started. All right, so from San Antonio, originally when I was looking at this trip, I was looking at round trip tickets from San Antonio to Japan. And at first I was looking for a bundle deal because most of the time, I want to say like 70% of the time when I look at bundle deals, I get a really, really good deal, and it's really hard to break everything apart and book it separately. But that's the key. That's the secret, guys. That's the secret. It's so simple, and everybody always like overlooks it. Like it's as simple as booking everything separately. So originally I was looking at bundle deals, right? I looked at San Antonio to Tokyo round trip, including hotel and everything, and there's no way I would have been able to afford it. I don't even remember the prices because I blacked out. That's how ridiculous they were. I want to say it was like $2,000 to $3,000 per person for a week to get to Tokyo from San Antonio. No way in hell, no. If you're an average working class citizen like you know that that's completely unrealistic, not ideal, and you don't want to break the bank when you travel because how are you going to enjoy it, right? So I sat on it for a while and I was like, there has to be a way to get to Japan cheaper. Like there has to be a way I can make this happen. And if you know me, you know that I have a determined spirit, so there was just no way I was not gonna see Japan. But anyways, all right, so back to what I was saying, the tip. You break everything apart. It's that simple. It's so much more stressful and it's a big pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. But you break everything apart and it's incredible the deal that you'll get. So let's go through a little bit of a price breakdown. Now it is extremely early in the morning and I'm not gonna do math. I can't math right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the prices up on the screen and do the math later when I'm editing this video for you guys. But it's still insane. You're gonna just watch. Okay, so a one-way ticket from San Antonio, Texas to Los Angeles was $89 the very, very first time that I looked up this trip and looked up everything separately. So $89 for a flight from San Antonio to LAX, times 2 for 2 people. And then the flight from Los Angeles to Tokyo, you will not believe, I should have booked it. I feel stupid. The very first time that I looked at the prices, it was like $480 per person, round trip for 2 people. So that ticket is not only going to get you to Japan, but it's going to get you back to the United States, back to Los Angeles. So if you're doing the math, that's 89 times 2 from San Antonio to Los Angeles, and then another 480 times 2 for your round trip ticket to Los Angeles, Tokyo, and then back to Los Angeles. And then you do another $89 per person times 2 to get you from Los Angeles to San Antonio. Well under $2 grand for 2 people. That's just the flight prices by themselves. It's insane that you can save that much money on a flight ticket to get you to Japan. Now, I'm gonna be honest and let you guys know that it does take a little bit of sacrificing if you want to get the cheapest flight. Even the first go round when I was looking at prices on flights, typically the odder the hour, the cheaper the price. So I was looking at extremely early morning flights and ultimately ended up booking a red-eye flight. So you have to be willing to do some pretty crazy things if you want to get cheap travel. So the red-eye flight that I booked was like, I think $200 cheaper than leaving at a decent hour. You just need to save according to your budget and what's going to work better for you. So that's up to you guys. Just throwing that out there, but that's what I mean when I say that all the variables matter. Everything that you're putting into this trip matters. Because had I left at a decent hour on a Saturday or a Friday, I would have probably paid like quadruple the price to get to Japan, no matter if you book separately or together. So those are things to keep in mind. You want to fly on the least busiest day. Try and stay away from weekends if you can. It's better to fly during the weekdays. And again, you want to fly at odd hours because nobody wants those flights, and that's why the tickets are cheaper. So keep those things in mind, guys. That all adds into your price, your overall price of the trip. Now, when it comes to booking hotels, I myself am bougie, okay? I have a bougie side, and yes, although I prefer to stay in a really nice, fancy hotel where you can wipe your butt with diamonds, or there's rooms draped in gold. Yeah, we all prefer that, okay? But we can't all afford that. So depending on what you go for, you can up your budget extremely high, or you can have it down extremely low. There's plenty of different options, and this goes for anywhere that you stay. But speaking on Japan specifically, they have hotels there that are called capsule hotels, and it's similar to a hostel, but in my personal opinion, it's way better and it feels way safer than a hostel. You can look up capsule hotels online, or I can like put a picture here for you guys. They're actually pretty neat, and if you're not a hard person to please, then this is like your best bet, because capsule hotels can save you a whole bunch of money is what I'm trying to say. If I can talk, I can't talk. I'm so cotton-mouthed. I'm thirsty and I'm tired. It's not a good combination. Anyways, you can find a capsule hotel in Japan for as little as like $14 a night. So if we go back to what we totaled up for the price of the flights, and you add like $14 times 6 for your hotel, your grand total is well below $2 grand. Now, if you have a little bit more money to play with and you have a bigger budget to play with, obviously you can go to a more luxurious hotel. They have everything for everyone. So if you want to stay high-end, you can. If you want to stay in a capsule, you can. What I personally chose to do was, when I'm looking for hotels, especially if it's overseas, I look for certain factors. So what really weighs heavily on my decision on where to stay is not how bougie it is or how cheap it is. Is it located near transportation? Can I get to transportation easily? Am I going to be near food? Am I going to be near any of the attractions that I'm looking to see? Is it going to be in a convenient area? Is it in a safe neighborhood? I look at all of these things before I book, and whether or not it's cheap or fancy, those are the things that I depend on the most. Because if you're booking a place for $14 a night and it is way outside of city limits, and you have to spend a fortune just to get into city limits, there's really no point in you trying to cut costs that way, because in the end it's going to bite you in the ass. And I've learned that the hard way. So I'm telling you guys, just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's the better option. And so in my case, what I decided to do was I went with a mid-range hotel, and I believe it was like $70, $70 or $80 a night that I paid for my hotel. And the reason I paid a little bit more was because this hotel that I chose was in a more centrally located area in the city hub. It was closer to transportation, and it was easily it was easy to access their train stations from the area that we'll be staying in. The area that the hotel is in. I can't talk good, I'm sorry. This is embarrassing. Anyways, I also chose to go with that hotel because I was looking for a hotel that would offer free breakfast, and it was a win-win situation for me. You know, I didn't want to break the price point of $100 per night, so I went with $80. But not only am I getting breakfast every single morning, I'm close to everything that I want to see. If I want to get on a bullet train and go to a different city in Japan, I'm close to all of that. So that brought my budget up just a little bit, but I know that in the end, I'm going to be saving a whole bunch of money because I have breakfast paid for every single day, and I'm close to transportation, so I'm not going to be spending a whole lot of money on taxis trying to get into town or just trying to get to a train station. You know, like I've learned, again, like I said, I've learned that the hard way, and it's not fun when you blow your budget that quickly. It's really not for the sake of paying cheaper to stay. So of course it costs a little bit more to stay closer to the city, but there are still plenty of options. It doesn't mean that you have to spend over $100 a night on a hotel. But yeah, that's basically the sum of it, guys. I mean, it's that simple, and I can't believe it's something that's overlooked. If you've ever booked travel, you know that it is a high-otch to book, because you're fighting with the internet on prices constantly raising every freaking second. It's a headache. I'm not gonna lie. It's usually a lot easier for me because I book, like I said, in bundle deals, and I don't have to stress about anything because I literally just click which flight I want, the return flight, what hotel I want, and the deal is sealed. This time around was not so easy. I think I had to cancel like 3 flights because I ended up booking my flight to Tokyo first from Los Angeles. And I guess at the time that I was booking, that flight in particular was booked. So I had to go through the pain of rebooking another flight to Tokyo, and that in turn threw off my flights that I had already booked from San Antonio to Los Angeles. So it was a mess. It was a mess. It was very, very stressful, but if you are wanting cheaper prices and you are really looking for a deal, that's the stuff that you have to put up with. Like, it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. Okay, so just because I'm giving you this golden little nugget doesn't mean that it's gonna be a walk in the park, because it's not. It's not. It's a headache, and you have to deal with a lot of people. Again, this scenario was coming out of Texas. I don't have any clue what the prices are outside of Texas if you're not at a major airport. But anyways, I'm gonna go and get breakfast, and I probably need to like guzzle down like 12 gallons of water because I've got like cotton fields in my mouth right now. It's just disgusting. So I'm gonna go, but thank you for joining me this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and I hope you enjoyed. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. That's it, guys. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I made you guys wait that long for that little secret. You're welcome. You're welcome.